Today I'm recapping my 8-week cut. How much weight did I lose, how much fat did I lose, and how much muscle did I gain? And I'm going to show you how I tracked it all with my Hume Health Body Pod and chronometer. And spoiler alert, I didn't just lose weight, I built muscle too, so stick around. Hi, Debbie Chu here from Chu on Vegan. Welcome back to my kitchen. If you're new here, I'm a plant-based RN and I eat a plant-based diet with a focus on protein. And why I focus on protein in my diet is because as I've gotten older, I realized that my body does not absorb protein as it once did when I was younger. And this is true for most of us. I am 100% plant-based and I make sure I get plenty of protein in my diet, lots of fiber, lots of fresh fruits and veg. So let's get into what I'm doing today. So starting on July 2nd, I went on an 8-week cut because I wanted to lose some body fat. And I continued it through August 26th. So I'm going to go over all those results today and what I did and all the details. So as most of you know, I do use the Hume Health Body Pod to track my weight loss or weight gain, my body fat percentage, my muscle, water, skeletal muscle mass. There's all kinds of things that the Body Pod does track. The main things that I'm tracking that are most important to me is fat and muscle. Now, when I first got my Body Pod back at the end of April, it said that my body fat percentage was 39%, and I was shocked because I don't really think that I'm overweight. And it was the way that my fat was also distributed through my body. I had a lot of fat, around my organs, my belly fat, and a lot of that is due to menopause and hormonal changes, just getting older. But I wasn't really happy with that number. And so I went along and I did what I thought was right, and I was eating a certain amount of calories, and I was tracking everything, and I was making some progress, but then I just stalled. And I did a video about that not too long ago, about the things I learned. I needed to up my protein, I needed to up my activity, and there were some things that I needed to tweak. So I decided to go on a cut, is what they call it. And because I really wanted to get that fat percentage down because it's not healthy. I was not at a healthy percentage. And the Hume Health Body Pod is 98% as effective as a medical grade DEXA scan. So I knew that it was pretty accurate. I wasn't too worried about that. So I started my cut, and then I was also using chronometer to log my food to make sure that I was hitting my protein goals, my fat goals and all that, and fiber goals, and I'll go over that as well. But that was the two tools I used, was the Hume Health Body Pod and the chronometer app. You can use whatever kind of app you want. There's MyFitnessPal, there's other ones, but I really like chronometer. With those two tools, I was really able to hone in on what was going on in my body. I was able to make adjustments along the way. And I'm going to show you screenshots from the app, from chronometer, and from the Body Pod, so you'll see all that coming up on the screen as I'm talking through this video. I think this is really important information because so many of us that are, perimenopause, postmenopause, we are just struggling to lose fat and to gain muscle. And it gets really tough as you get older. I'm not gonna lie, this wasn't easy for me. I mean, it was doable, but I really had to lock in and focus. And that's something that I didn't really do to this level before. But let me tell you, I saw great results by doing that. So when I started this cut, my goals were to eat around 120 grams of protein a day. I wanted to eat about 1,500 in calories, and I wanted to make sure I got about 40 grams of fiber. To me, it's really important not just to get protein, but to get fiber. Fiber is what keeps you full. It is really good for cardiovascular health, for colon health, so that's really important to me. So even though I'm increasing my protein, I'm also eating a ton of fruits and veg, grains. I mean, I was eating all really good healthy foods. Stayed away from processed foods. I didn't eat a lot of breads or crackers or chips or things like that because those are just really high calorie foods. There's not a lot of nutrients in like chips and stuff, so I just steered clear of all that. I didn't really worry about my carb intake because I knew that would take care of itself with all the fruits and veg and grains that I was eating. My carbs were great, so I wasn't worried about that. So I'm just going to read off my paper here. So I started the cut on July 2nd. I weighed 151.8 pounds. At that point, my fat was 36.2. So I'd already lost some fat, but it had really slowed down. And my muscle was 89.5 pounds. So, which really isn't bad, but I wanted it to be better, obviously. I wanted my fat to go down, but I didn't want to lose muscle. That was really important to me. As I was going along, probably about week 6, I noticed that there was a slight increase in my body fat and a slight reduction in my muscle. So I upped my calories to about 1600, 1650, and that kind of leveled it off. So without having the body pod, I would have never known that. I would have never known what was happening inside my body. That's why to me, it is just a really valuable tool to have. And at the same time, I was losing weight on the scale, but I was losing muscle, and I was like, no, we want to stop that. So I adjusted my calories and things seemed to level off. The cut ended on August 26th. I ended my cut after 8 weeks. Sometimes you can do 12 weeks, but I just decided to do 8 because I was going to go on vacation with my family. And so I ended it on August 26th. August 27th, I went on vacation with my family because I knew I was going to be eating more calories. And while I was on vacation, I pretty much kept it at maintenance level, which was perfect because I was able to eat more and enjoy a few things that I was not eating before, like having some chips and salsa and having some crackers with hummus and things like that. So I was able to increase my calories, which was fine. But on August 26th, my weight went from 151.8 to 143.4. So I lost 8.4 pounds in that 8-week period. My fat percentage went from 36.2 to 32.5, which was 3.7%, which I thought was pretty good. And then my muscle started at 89.5, and then I went to 91. So I had 91 pounds of muscle on me. And that was an increase of 1.5 pounds of muscle. So to be able to lose fat and still gain muscle, I was so happy with that. So I'm going to be on maintenance for a couple of weeks, the week I was on vacation, and then probably this week. And then I'm going to go back on another cut for about 4 weeks just to see where I'm at. Because I do want my body fat percentage to be under 30%. It's at 32.5. I would love for it to be 29, even 28 is actually my real goal. But we're going to see how that goes. So, like I said, I've already been on maintenance for a week. I'm going to do another week. Because I have another week off of work. And then when I go back to work next week, I will be back on my cut for about 4 weeks. And then I'm going away again because why not? Let's live life, right? I'm going to go to New York. I'm going to see some Broadway plays, musicals. I'm going to eat some delicious food. And I'm not going to worry about it because I've gotten really good at eyeballing how much food weighs and what calories are. So I've gotten really good at it because I've been so consistent with doing it. Now, some people don't want to be bothered with any of this weighing and measuring and counting and all this, and that's fine. But for me, it really helped me hone in on what was going on. And I saw real progress. Because tracking does give you really good insights. And it really shows you and teaches you what a serving size looks like. Because it's so easy to underestimate your calories. And when you're tracking, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You know exactly what you're doing. I was still going to the gym 3 times a week, still walking every day. I tried to up my steps. Some days I did, other days I didn't, but it was always on my mind that I would at least get some sort of movement every single day. Even if it was just a 20-minute walk down the street and back, I would feel that at least I did something. And that's what I think we can all do, is at least try to do something. Even if you work a 9 to 5, you have a lunch break, you can walk around the block. You could walk inside the building if the weather is bad. You know, there's a lot of different things. Most places have stairs. You can go up and down the stairs. Just get some movement in. You know, it doesn't have to be some grand thing. It's not all or nothing. It's about progress, not perfection. It's about consistency. I mean, I'm sure you've heard it a million times from different people on the internet. Consistency, consistency, consistency. You need to be in a calorie deficit to lose the fat. And it all makes sense once you see the big picture. And that way you can adjust as you go along and not feel so... It made me not feel frustrated when I saw that maybe my weight was doing one thing, muscle was doing another, fat was doing another. It made it all make sense instead of just looking at a number on a scale and saying, you know, what's the use? You know, nothing's really happening. You know, if you're able to adjust things instead of just guessing, you've got the data to back it up, it just makes life a lot easier. So losing fat and building muscle after the age of 50 or whatever is definitely possible. It's doable, and I'm proof of that. And I've had my ups and downs. You know, I'm human. This has really helped me lock in, hone in, so I highly recommend. So I highly recommend using a tracking app like Chronometer or MyFitnessPal, and then getting a scale like the Hume Health Body Pod. I'll leave a link below, and I also have a discount code for 15% off. And if they're having a sale, you can stack that discount code on top of their sale and save even more money. And it's guaranteed. If you don't like it, you can send it back. And the Chronometer or MyFitnessPal, they're free. Download the app, you have it on your phone or you can have it on your computer, and you can just plug in all your numbers. Rule of thumb is 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of your ideal body weight. So if you want to weigh 120 grams of protein. Or minimum, start at 100 grams, unless you're, you know, 4'8" and weigh 80 pounds. Then that's a little different story. But if you're of average height and, you know, you don't really know where to start, well, first of all, start by tracking and see where you're at. You know, you might be getting 100 grams a day, and then you can up it a little bit more. I have lots of recipes on my channel for ideas for high protein meals, so you can check those all out on my channel. And if you've used the Chronometer, MyFitnessPal, or if you have a Hume Body Pod, let me know, like, your experience. If you found it a positive experience, or if you're having any issues, if you have questions, just let me know in the comments. I'm happy to answer your questions for you. And I also want to say that as of today is September 4th, we have 16 weeks to the end of the year. So you can decide how you want the end of the year to look like for you. Do you want to just keep doing the same old things that you do year after year and not getting anywhere, and then come the holidays and you're just disgusted with yourself, or you're just so frustrated that you just don't know what to do? Then now's the time. It's September, you've got time. So get those good habits ingrained, get consistent, and then when the holidays roll around, you're in control. You won't feel like you're out of control. I hope you found this video helpful, that you learned something, that maybe it inspired you to start your own cut and get more insight into your body, how it works. I mean, it is possible with, you know, good nutrition and tracking your food. This 8-week cut made me realize that, you know, you can't really just phone things in anymore, at least not at my age. You know, I'm going to be 69 next month, and it's a whole different animal now. I have to think totally different. And the way I metabolize food and the way my activity, it's all changed. And it has changed just even in the last 10 years. I notice it's changing. So don't get discouraged. If you're having trouble, Try some of these things that I told you about and see if it works for you. It's just important, just keep trying things, you know, trial and error. If it doesn't work, try something else. The one thing is you don't want to starve yourself, and you want to make sure that you're having really good nutrition. Make sure you're eating whole foods, that you're eating plenty of fiber. Don't try to take shortcuts and say, okay, I overate yesterday, so today I'm going to starve myself. No, just get right back on the routine and stay with it. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe. I really appreciate it. And if you've made it this far in the video, please comment below with "it's possible," because it is possible. And remember that all my recipes are good for you, they're good for the animals, and they're good for the planet. And what you put on your plate determines your fate. Until next time, thank you.